Hi everyone, Figma just released some crazy new updates and I want to talk to you about the top 10 new features that they've introduced in under 10 minutes. Hi, my name is Ujjwal and you're watching Ujjwal X Design or UXD. Number 10, the new UI. Now, redesigns are something that we all have very mixed feelings about, especially the tool that we use every day. I personally feel that a redesign is always refreshing, especially for something that I've been using it for such a long time. So it's good to see some refreshment there. In the new UI, you will realize that the instead of having a fixed side panel, they now have floating side panels, and those side panels now could be collapsed very easily. If you go into focus mode when you're observing somebody else on the file, these side panels collapse immediately. They also have a dedicated button now, which you can click upon and collapse the left hand side menu. The toolbar is now featuring at the bottom with a new button, which is the AI button, and we are going to talk about AI since Figma talked about it so much. Number 9, responsive prototyping. Now, this has been something which has been available on other platforms like Framer if you've used it. Prototypes have always been very, very powerful on Figma. Responsive prototyping was something that was missing, I felt, especially for web products, especially where screen sizes are important. So they've introduced responsive prototyping this time. After introducing features like minimum and maximum width for auto layouts and wrapping in auto layouts, I think responsiveness was the next step. Now within the demo that they showed on stage, you could go into preview mode and then you can try resizing the canvas size and the layout will adjust according to your constraints. Now this is going to be really, really useful for a lot of use cases, and I think this fits in my top 10 features that they have released this time. Number 8, AI is finally here in Figma in a native format. So of course we have had plugins before where we could use AI in some or the other way within Figma, but now finally Figma has come up with a bunch of AI features within the tool itself. Now this could be a little scary for a lot of you, especially who are starting out and thinking, okay, what is the future of design? But trust me, the better we are at understanding the AI functionalities, all these AI features at this point of time, the better head start we'll have with AI. And AI is not going to replace designers, at least at this point of time. We're still very far away from that. So if you click on the new AI button that is in the toolbar, you have this option called Make Designs. Now, when you click on Make Designs, you can add a prompt here, and for the demo purposes, they added a prompt of creating a pizza delivery app. And of course, it takes a couple of minutes, and then Figma actually creates this design for you. When you're looking at the design that they have created, you can obviously change the colors, the typography. You have all the controls when the design is created, but you could see and understand that this is the most basic version of the prompt. So what this feature will do is give us a head start within a project, and then we can go on and modify according to our preferences or a design system that is already in place. Number 7, replace or suggest content. Now I think this is a more practical use case of AI in design, and this is actually going to be super helpful for a lot of people. So while we are creating a design, we always end up using some form of dummy content, either lorem ipsum or something random that we write within our designs. Now replace content will understand the context of your design and then suggest you content based on that design. And here is an example that they showed on stage. You can see here that this is a recipe list where you're just copy pasting your list items, which we usually end up doing. And if you hit on replace content, you will see that the content is now replaced with that recipe. Now, if you're going to further extend this list, the AI is going to understand that, and then it will just add that list for you. Now, this I think is very exciting. It will save us a lot of time into not thinking about what we need to write in the design, and it will also give us feedback on the design, not focusing on the content itself. Because when you have realistic content, the person you're showing the designs to is not too stifled by what is written. He will actually look at the design and give you feedback. Number 6, playing around with visuals. You can remove backgrounds now inside Figma. You don't have to take your image to Photoshop and do all that magic there. You can do that on Figma with the help of AI now. One of the most primary features of AI has been generative content and generative images. So of course that feature is also there on Figma now. Now whenever you're creating any kind of a layout and you need an image, a certain image for a particular section, you could just write a prompt within Figma and it will generate an image which is related to that content. I think again, moving out of stock images where we are using images which are not giving you that kind of context to being very super specific. I know the images are not going to be super high quality, but they will be more relevant than any stock photo that you find on the internet. Plus the time we spend on finding that right image for our design, that time will also be saved. Getting into the top 5, number 5, translate. And I think it's really, really powerful, especially when you're creating designs for a particular segment and a particular language speaking audience. And in India specifically, it's going to be very, very useful because a lot of products need to go vernacular and it needs to start happening from design itself. To use the translate feature, select the layer where you want that translation to happen, then go in your toolbar, click on the AI button, then select the language that you want your designs to be translated into, and voila, you will see your designs getting translated. Looks like magic. Number 4, renaming your layers. Now, I know how much of a pain this has been for so many of you and myself as well. I've been guilty of having unstructured files on Figma. Now, with a click of a button, you can rename all your layers instantly. I think this is going to be a game changer and it will save us so much of time. I think a lot of these features are about, saving time and actually focusing on what we should be focusing on and not everything around it. Number 3, suggest auto layout. Now you may think, why have I put this feature in my top 3? So I've seen a lot of great designers struggle with auto layout still. It is actually quite difficult to get onboarded to the idea of having your entire layout in an auto layout. And to solve this, Figma has just introduced Suggest Auto Layout, where within a click of a button, your entire design will be converted into an auto layout. And I think this will help us onboard so many designers who are not yet onboarded to auto layout to start using this very powerful feature that Figma has to offer. Number 2, visual search. Again, I have ranked this really, really high because I have suffered from this problem. When you work in a very large organization, there are a lot of files that go around. Now, say you get a message on Slack, and it's the same example that the CEO of Figma gave in his presentation. You get a message, you get an image in that message, and you're asked where is the design file for this. So what can you do now? You can simply copy paste that screenshot in your Figma file and search similar. Now, search similar will help you identify where this file lies within your entire organization's Figma projects and will bring you that artboard instantly. You can play with that artboard, or you can actually look at the name of the file and then go to that file if you want to and see that entire design flow. There is another thing that they've introduced where you can, draw something with a pencil and Figma will find something similar in your icon library. I don't know if that use case is going to be a very big use case, but searching your Figma files through images is, I think, very, very powerful. Number 1, my top feature for this year's Figma release, and it has to be make prototype. Now, why do I rate this so high? So many of us designers end up creating so many iterations that we don't want to spend a lot of time creating prototypes. They tried to solve this problem by introducing variants last year, but you could see that has not picked up the way it should have been picked up. I don't see a lot of designers using variants at this point of time live in their projects. This year, introducing automatic prototypes will be a game changer. What that will do is help you create prototypes instantly. You will be able to get feedback on your prototypes and not your design, and you will be able to create prototypes for all your design iterations quickly. And I think that is so important. And I think at the end of the day, what that will enable us to do as designers is that we'll create better products. So a lot of these features that I've seen in Config, I'm really excited to use them. And I think I've seen some people have mixed reactions on it. My opinion is that I think these are more relevant than last year's changes. Absolutely. And I think a lot of them will have a lot of use cases for everybody. So I'm really excited I still haven't gotten my beta access, which I'm waiting for. Otherwise, I would have showed you snippets from me experiencing it firsthand. Once I get it, I probably go deep dive into some of these features and make another video about it. That's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope this was a good refresh of all the updates that happened in the Figma Config 2024. Thank you and have a nice day.